So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like the world is like, it's almost like the world is going through like an evolutionary process, you know, us as human beings as a collective and the planet itself. I feel like there's like a change going on, like some kind of like almost like everything's transcending to a degree where it's almost like we're going into a peaceful, loving phase, a peaceful, loving, um, accepting phase of humanity, if you see what I mean, where people are becoming a lot more aware, a lot more conscious, a lot more intellectually inclined, a lot more knowledgeable of the world that we're living in and what's really going on and how how society really works, if you see what I mean. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are trying to make change, you know, in whatever way they can, you know, for the better, you know, so that we can, you know, we all want our kids, the future generations, to grow up in a good world, you know, where there's, you know, as little crime as possible, where people can feel, you know, can enjoy their lives peacefully and happily and have fun and not have to worry about a lot of crime and, you know, just be able to, you know, just to live their lives, you know, be able to earn enough money to survive without having to struggle, so that they can look after their families, not have to worry about all the, you know, all the overwhelming pressures of life to the point where they feel overwhelmed and feel like they can't cope and feel, you know, depressed. You get a lot of people out here that are depressed and anxious and suffering with all sorts of stuff because of how life is today. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about, like I was saying earlier, not everyone is that strong. You know, some people, what me or someone else might be able to deal with, or my mate might be able to deal with, there might be someone that if they were faced with that situation, they might feel, God, I can't survive this. I don't think I can cope with this. I don't think I can continue. And you know, that's, you know, so, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's not, you know, we're all different in terms of how strong we are mentally and psychologically, and how much we can actually overcome as people and how strong we are, you know, what really makes and breaks us, you know.
I think we've all become separated, haven't we?
Mm.
You know, over time.
Mm.
You know, I think we used to, you know, when we were like more monkeys, we used to be more like, you know, slowly in time, I think we've become very different, you know, like I said earlier on, different occupations, different backgrounds. I think we're all living different sort of realities in a funny way, you know, like some people are married or something, you know, or some people are married and one goes to prison, you know, and that hurts the wife and maybe their children, you know, and they've got to go and visit their loved one in prison and things, you know, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So sometimes prison affects the whole family, you know, including the mother and father of that person that's, you know, son that's gone away.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and why does crime exist in our world today, you know? This is a question mark, isn't it? You know, why does that actually exist? You know? I think like, you know, nature or the world we're born in really is kind of quite sad, really. When, you know, when you think we're born, grow up, and then you realise you're going to die. You know, in a funny way, you know, it's all temporary.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, it's all temporary.
Yeah, nothing's going to last forever.
No, whatever experience you have, temporary.
Yeah. And the thing is that we don't say that to make people feel like everything is meaningless, you know, because sometimes you can feel like that when you sit down and analyse it like that and really think about it, and you think to yourself, you know what, everything is temporary. Why, you know, I think, but also I think sometimes people do need that reminder as well, to remind them, listen, don't kill yourself stressing about shit too much, because everything is just temporary. Just try your best and keep it moving. If something comes up, something happens, just deal with it there and then. But outside of that, try not to worry about anything. If you see what I mean, just anything that pops up here and there, deal with it, whatever, address it. But along the way, don't worry about anything. Just get on with life, enjoy your life, you know. You know, as we all know, life is short, you know.
That's right, you know,
life is very short.
All temporary, I think, and it's up to you to make that temporary good.
Yeah.
I suppose, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, like I say, nature is beautiful, but it's also pretty sad and horrible sometimes, you know, it can be. You know, especially when it's dark at night time, do you know what I mean? It can be quite scary, you know. But when the sun comes out, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes I think, like, if there was two suns lighting up the world and it never got dark, you know, that'd make the world completely different, you know, where we'd have light all the time, wouldn't need light, electricity at night time, do you know what I mean? All these lights and candles, whatever. You know, if we had two suns, you know, it would just kind of change our reality, do you know what I mean, again, you know, and kind of change people's happiness, you know, again, the sun is one thing that people love to follow in a funny way, you know, because it keeps us warm, you know. So people, I mean, when people go on holidays, they like to really follow the sun. They like to go, you know, not all people, because we're a bit different, you know. Some people like going skiing, you know, to cool places, you know. But most of all, people like to follow the sun, you know, and keep warm. They'd be happier if it was a sunnier day, if it was, then it was not nice, you know, or raining or stormy, you know. You know, where I think, you know, people should learn to appreciate the weather, really, you know. Like I say, it's up to you. Like if it's raining, it's up to you whether you're going to be happy or sad about it, really, isn't it? It's your choice, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's up to you whether you want it to ruin your day, basically, you know. Like a duck would enjoy the rain, but another animal wouldn't, maybe, you know. Do you know what I mean? You know, so. Yeah, you know, like, well, as I said, like earlier on, money is really important in this world, isn't it, for everyone? We don't like it, some people, but it's the reality we live in. We've got this business world which we can all, you know, get involved with if we wish to, and make money from other people, you know, which is pretty nasty in a funny way, you know, but, you know, some people do good business, good work for other people. Some people do bad work, you know, and so on. You know.
It's true.
So I think there's two different hearts in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and a good heart, I think, to have a good heart, I think you've got to be educated. And then, you know, to do stupid things, you're not educated. And to do evil things, you're not educated. You know. It all comes down to education, you know, and I don't think,
a large part of it,
as I said, I don't think anyone, really seriously, not many people are educated at all about life itself, about marriage, about happiness, about kindness, about anger, you know, so on and so on. You know, people need to know this, you know. And people need to talk about death as well, and so on, you know.
That's why I think the role of a parent is so important. Like me, I'm very, obviously my kids are still young, so I have to, obviously I word it, and I talk to them and word things in ways that are understandable for my children, for their age, whether it be for my son or for my daughter. But I'm very honest, especially with my son, because he's almost 10 now. I already tell him what you know, what life is all about, and if he wants to have a good life when he's older and not have to worry, stress or struggle, if you see what I mean, there's certain steps that he needs to take in order to get there, so that he can kind of be free of the matrix, so to speak, if you see what I mean, where he can be financially free, so he can be his own boss, if you see what I mean. He don't have to be contractually obligated to someone every day of his life for the rest of his life for 40, 50 years, just working, killing himself, just to try and get a pension for 20 years before he kicks the bucket, if you see what I mean. You know, I don't want that life for my kids, so that's why I educate them and say, listen, you know, especially with my son, because I would do the same with my daughter as she gets older, of course, but with my son I say to him, listen, if you want to have a good life, you don't want to worry, you don't want to struggle, and you want to be able to enjoy your life and be happy and not have financial worries, if you see what I mean, like a lot of people, this is what you need to do, if you see what
I mean, that's another thing, some people are self-employed.
That's it, yeah.
Some people are not, do you know what I mean? You know, and to be your own boss, you know, own your own company, depending on what business it is, I suppose, or your attitude, I suppose, you know, it's going to make you happier. Being your own boss, being independent from anyone, you know.
Yeah.
Being, you don't have to get up.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, or you're not going to get told off by anyone.
Yeah. You're free.
You're free, you know, and that's going to make you happier, isn't it? That you're not going to get shouted at for being late.
Yeah.
And so on, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But you can make and break your own routine.
There was a quote saying, you know, you're never going to be happy. I'm sorry, you're never going to get rich working for someone else. You know, but whether that's true or not, you know, I think you can get rich by working for someone else.
Oh, you can, because there's a lot of people out there that have. There's engineers, there's doctors, there's consultants, there's architects, there's all sorts of different jobs out there, mate, that pay very good salaries a year, where people are earning upwards of like £15,000 to £20,000 a month, and who can't survive on that?
No, I think.
Even if you're on your own or have a family, you can survive on that and plus more. If you see what I mean, have a very nice life, you know. You know, it's 20k a month. There's some people that, mate, if you think about it, right, 20k a month, right, times 12, yeah, that's 220,000 a year, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got people out there that are earning way more than that anyway, as we already know. You've got CEOs of companies and shit that sometimes earn 500,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's 40 grand a month. Who can't survive on 40 grand a month, mate? Anyone could. Anyone could survive on 40 grand a month. So, you know, that does bring that element of happiness, of not having to worry about all the normal shit that most people have to worry about.
Now, if you are bringing a lot of money in,
yeah,
you're not going to worry about the electric, are you?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, I think we're all living in different realities a little bit.
We are.
Where we're on different amounts of money.
Yeah.
So on and so on.
Yeah.
Different houses we live in, you know, or some people live in big houses. Some people got 5 houses.
Yes.
You know, and some people got 10 houses or 50, you know, or some people got none. You know, well, a lot of people have, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So we're living in a very unusual, confusing world.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Especially in this day and age, mate, where they're trying to overcomplicate everything with all these more labels, more division. You know, we've now decided. No disrespect to anyone out there that's, you know, identifies with any of these things. I'm just saying, it feels like we're just adding too many labels to society. Why are we now saying, oh, you know, this whole thing of, you know, people can identify as a dog type thing and all this kind of thing. Like, why are we doing this kind of thing? You know, it's like, why are we overcomplicating society? Why are we putting labels on everything? If you see what I mean, you know, why? You know, it's you know, it's almost madness. You know.
It's bad. That's one thing you just got to realise. It is madness.
Yeah, it's madness.
You've got to, you know.
I think once you realise that, then you realise, you know.
You've got to acknowledge that you know, it's not you that's going mad. It is the world.
The world will make people mad.
You know, it is a crazy place we're living in. You know.
It's a mad, mad world.
Where people would do anything for money almost. You know?
They would. A lot of people.
You know, I would.
Facts. No, likewise, I've got integrity.
You know, yeah, I've got pride, you know, and whatever, you know, and I think, like I say, there's lots of different realities out there, you know. I think happiness is kind of, as I say, to be happy you've got to be intelligent, right? You know, you've got to be intelligent, I think, you know, and to, you know, even with money, when you've got a lot of money, you need to be intelligent with it.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, you're going to go broke very quickly.
Yeah.
Because the trouble is, right, what happens with a lot of people, especially when they first get money, right, is, especially like, let's say you're a musician, say, for example.
Which I am.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether I am, but I'm trying to be.
Or an artist.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, you say for an artist, say for example, for the first 5 years, they might be used to earning a certain amount of money. Because they might have had a few hit records, a good run, a good few tours, and they're used to earning that money. But after another 5 years, and they start to cool down, they're not as hot as they once were, and they're not doing as many shows as they once were, or during that first 5 year process, they bought a house, let's say for example, that cost them about 15 grand a month just to upkeep in terms of their gardens, their lawns, their you know,
I think-
the cleaning, all that type of shit. Because you get people that buy these huge properties sometimes when they first get millions, when they first out the gate,
That's right.
and then they can't later on in life because they're not getting the same amount of money they once were. They can't afford to maintain the lifestyle that they bought into too early on. If you see what I mean, they weren't sensible in investing their money.
You know, with money, you've got to be intelligent,
You've
right?
got to be intelligent.
And you know, what's the point of buying a big plot of land, whatever, and spend, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you could live in a tent with £1 million and be happy.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
You know, I mean, I'm quite happy going camping. I quite enjoy it. You know, do you know what I mean? Even if I won £1 million, I'd still go camping. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you know, sleeping rough for the night is quite good experience. You know, like I think I said once. You know, a girl, you know, travelled 3,000 miles to see me twice, which I was very lucky. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Dallas. And anyway, when she got here, you know, we spent the night on the beach. It was so rough that night, right? But it was beautiful. You know, so you know, and we didn't have a penny.
Yeah.
We didn't spend a penny.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, happiness doesn't necessarily cost money.
Yeah.
You know, and you can be happy sleeping on the beach all night, right, in rough rain, as long as you're in good company.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying yourself. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I think it's, you know, life is all about appreciating it for one, you know, because like, as I say, it's temporary. Right, so appreciate it. Appreciate every moment. Every second. Enjoy every second. You know, I you know, like, I look forward when you come up, you know what I mean? And I look forward to the future.
Definitely.
Wow, yeah. That's another thing, you know, look forward to the future. Because it's beautiful, you know? Like I say, it's not beautiful when electric's going up so much.
Yeah.
But you got to realise that electric's not always been there.
Yeah.
You know, you know, like it's only just been invented in the last 100 years. Do you know what I mean? It's quite new. You know, so realise people didn't have it, and they were quite happy without it. You know, do you know what I mean? One point, in a funny way, you know. So, you know, I think like people don't appreciate life. That's the problem.
Yeah.
With a lot of people. You know, they're too busy, or
I was just going to say sometimes it's not people's fault.
It's not other people's fault.
They get distracted. So much going on in today's society where
that's what's the evil about it.
You know,
that's the evil about it. Actually,
it's almost like it's intentional. They preoccupy people so much to the point
when
they forget what's really important. You know, people are so caught up in work, trying to survive, their kids, their husbands, their wives, their whatever.
Well, do you know, like being a nurse, for instance, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, how can you be happy being, you know, some people might be happy being a nurse, but I don't think I could be, you know, like, caring or, you know, like, treating people because they've got a leg missing and things, whatever, you know, do you know what I mean? Doing that for a job, you know, do you know what I mean? You know, but they must get some kind of pride out of being kind, or whatever, you know? But just working in, you know, to me, it's working, you know, being in a hospital, working in a hospital, is a bit like working in a factory with people.
Yeah.
You know, and they die, and you know, whatever. You know, it's like I don't know, you know, I just find it a little bit of an evil what we're all living in a funny way, and people are, it's like they've got leads on them, and they have to do the things that they don't even want to do, or, you know.
So much of us compromise our time,
you know,
and all of our life, most of our time, most of our life, for a paycheck. Just think about that. I know it sounds very simple, but just really think about it. Most of us sacrifice most of our lives and our time for a paycheck. To me, it sounds like the biggest scam in history. If you really think about it, you pay for a house that you hardly ever live in because you're always at work trying to pay for it. You paying bills for a house that you hardly ever live in because you're not there. You live at work trying to pay for it. It's a scam. It's one big scam.
It's a fix.
You know? Yeah.
It's a fix, you know.
They got you paying,
Like
in the UK they got you paying your rent or a mortgage. They got you paying your electric. They got you paying your water and your sewage. They got you paying your council tax. Yeah? They got people paying TV licenses. They got people paying, it's just, the list
Well, it's a nightmare, isn't
the
it?
list is endless.
It's a
People,
nightmare.
most people have 10 to 12, 5 to 10, anywhere between 8 to 12, 15 bills a month that they're paying.
It's a
And
nightmare.
then
You know, this, to me, this
it's madness, like you said.
Well,
It's madness.
to me, this
Yeah.
place where I live in,
Mm,
which people call Earth, whatever,
mm,
and the universe, alright,
mm,
is a very magical place. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
mm,
And full of so much beauty, right? But we've got, you know, it's like they're taking people's happiness, alright. They don't want anyone to be happy, so put all the bills up, and you know, do you know what I mean? And like I say, business is kind of like a war, you know, and we're all sort of competing against each other all the time.
mm,
And I don't know, it's like a game, you know, to me, you know, and everyone's sort of like trying to, you know, it's like friends, alright? Like 5 friends, alright?
mm,
One wants to be better than the other one, and earn more money, you
Mm.
know, and all this sort of stuff, do you know what I mean?
mm,
You know, and it's a competitive world, and it's not nice,
mm,
you know, the competitive, I don't like it,
mm.
you know, and it's kind of,
It's that survival of the fittest.
it's kind of
all
like
the
an
time.
evil to me,
It's dog eat dog.
it's like an evil to me in a funny way, you know,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
like,
It's a dog eat dog world. In
you know,
in a
even
reality.
children at school being in a race,
Yeah.
a running race, you know,
Yeah.
it's a competition,
Competition.
you
Yeah.
know, and then the winner gets a cup.
Mm,
Then the losers just sit there looking at the man with the cup,
Mm.
or the you know, whatever,
yeah.
the person with the cup,
Mm,
you know, and it's a little bit humiliating
mm,
sometimes, you know, you feel like punching, you know, sometimes, you know,
yeah.
it's like a war.
But at the same time,
Competition is a war.
at the same time, I think it lets those children know from a young age that
To be better.
not only to be better,
Yeah.
but to understand the fact that that's how life works and operates. There are people who win, and there are people who lose.
Yeah.
Life is not fair. Life is not fair. Life doesn't work like that. You either work as hard as you possibly can to win, or you lose. It's as simple as that. You know? That's
See-
that's reality.
See, personally, sometimes in life I have been a pretty big loser in life, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't care if I lose, do you know what I mean?
Mm,
That's it.
Mhm.
You know, that makes me a winner.
mm,
If you don't care about losing in a funny way, or
Mm.
being a loser in life,
mm,
you're a bit of a winner
yeah,
in a funny way, you know. If you
Mm.
don't mind losing a race,
yeah,
it makes you a bit of a winner.
yeah.
Where,
But I think it brings people down. I think it brings kids down to earth from young, and lets them know what to expect when they get older. If you see what I mean. If they want to be successful, life is competitive. If you see what I mean. If you get what I'm trying to say. If they want to be successful when they're older, they have to understand that life is competitive, and they will
Well,
have
but
to.
you know,
Go.
that's
It's like when people go for a job. How many people go for a job? For a
Quite
job
a few,
interview.
yeah.
Sometimes 20 to 30 people go for the same job.
and the
One,
best one wins.
one person's going to get it.
Best one is, it's like being the sperm in it, and the best one wins.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Yeah.
competition. Life is a competition. And it is survival of the fittest. You know? So, to each their own. You know?
Yeah, and you know, it's like the rat race, isn't it? You know, and
Mm.
competition. You know,
Mm.
best man win. You know,
Yeah.
it's a wicked world.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
let the best man win. You know,
Mm.
you know, let the, you know, I don't, you know, personally, I don't want to be that best man. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
Mm.
happy with who I am.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Likewise.
You know, I personally know that there's better or wiser people than myself, or
Mm.
more intelligent people than myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we're all intelligent in different ways. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm happy with my
Mm.
intelligence.
Mhm.
You just see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, and like, so I'm not rich, any means. You know, I'd
Mm.
love to be rich. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It would make me happier if I was. I
Mm.
must admit. You know,
Mhm.
You know, if I come into some money, I'd help you out, and a number of people. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
bless a lot of people too. Like if
Yeah,
I come
yeah.
into, and don't get me wrong, what I earn is not bad, but if I was in a place where I could earn maybe 3 or 4 times what I earn
They happier.
a year now,
They
I'd be
happier.
able to bless a lot of people. For
It'll
sure.
make you happier, won't it?
And happier, yeah.
You know,
But only happy from a perspective too that I could. It would make me happy to bless people, to help people.
Exactly, and that makes you
And to
happier.
know that I could do even more for my wife, even more for my kids, even more for our families, even more for my friends, my loved ones that are around me.
That's right. I mean,
We'll all be happy, we'll be living a nice life, comfortable. You know what I mean? We don't have to be super wealthy and rich, but we can be comfortable and enjoy our life and what we have got. You know?
So money moves you up the ladder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you the power to be comfortable in the future. Power to control your life in a better way.
Yeah.
Or, you know, go where you want, move where you want. It gives you a lot of powers, you know, and you know, that's the world we're living in, you know, but not everyone can be rich in this world, you know, only just a few, you know, in a funny way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think, like, as I say, you know, you can come into a lot of money but lose it within a day.
Yeah. Well, I'm the type of
If
person
you're not intelligent.
that if I get anything upwards of like, say I get anything upwards of £250,000 or more, I never go broke again. Never go broke again, mate. Because I would invest that money in a few different ways where that money would just continue to make money for me. Where that if I chose not to work, I know I still have a residual income coming in every single month. You see what I mean? Where even though I'm not working, I'm still getting paid every month. Still getting a paycheck, nice paycheck every month.
You know, it's all to do with like security as well, isn't it? If you've got a good job,
yeah.
Is the future good with that particular, you know, business?
In that industry.
You know, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, is you know,
yeah.
It's all to do with that kind of thing, you know.
Mm.
You know, not all jobs are secure, are they? Do you know what I mean? And so on and so on. Some people can lose their job in a day because they've done something wrong, you know.
Mm.
You know, just made the wrong move, or you know, or said something wrong to the you know, to the supervisor or the manager, you know, or whatever, you know. And it is a wicked world we're living in, you know, where, you know, the managers are under pressure, people under pressure, you know.
Everyone's trying to survive.
It's like, you know, my brother, he had this job not long ago, and he was working for in this pub as a chef, and he said it was a nightmare job.
I can imagine.
He said it's the worst job he ever done, you know, they were swearing all the time and cursing at each other.
That's how it is, yeah.
And you know, and he's sort of doing the washing up, doing his job, but they're still moaning that he didn't do this. Do you know what I mean? Even though he was trying his best. Do you know what I mean? You know, and it's like, oh my God, you know, like, job, you know, there are jobs out there. You know, I mean, for instance, like metal.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't want to be working, you know, with metal all day, yeah, on the heat. You know, and all this kind of like hot metal. It must be like hell. You know, sort of just, and then you go home and dream about it. Do you know what I mean? You know, and then you go, you know, you might get a holiday with your wife somewhere, but you're still dreaming of going back there. You know, I don't, you know, they might get paid a lot of money, but you know, I wouldn't want a lot of money personally for horrible dreams. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I think a lot of people forced to do jobs, you know, that they don't even like doing.
That's it. To survive.
Well, you know, that people have got to take what you know, what's there. I think, you know, loads of people out there, you know, just stuck in jobs, really, basically, that they don't really enjoy doing, you know, but they're there to, you know, to earn a living, pay the bills, and hopefully get a better job in the future. Do you know what I mean? You know, a better paid job. You know, and again, you know, like I say, we're living in the world of competition a bit, you know, and a bit like, you know, your job's not necessarily secure, which is another element with happiness in a kind of way. You know, you've got to be good with your boss and keep him happy, things like that. Do you know what I mean? You know, which comes down to happiness in a way. You know, and like I say, work is different to home. You know, sometimes you go to work and your boss might be angry, and you come home and you have such a good day because of it, you know, and then it might spill onto your family.
Yeah.
So on, you know, you know.
You have to learn to leave work at work, keep family at home. Don't bring family into work, and don't bring work into home. It's hard for a lot of people to do because we're human beings and it's natural, you know. But I'm a big believer in that. Like from the time I try, when I'm at work, I try 100. I give 100%. But once I step out that door, I switch off until I'm working again. If you see what I mean, you know. Yeah. Even with me and my wife, because we work in very similar, because we work in the healthcare industry, in different roles, different professions. We try not to talk about work because we spend enough time at work, if you see what I mean, you know, without wanting to talk about it as well, if you see what I mean. On top of that, having to have a dialogue about, you know, stuff that we both go through on a daily basis that we already know anyway, if you see what I mean. So we try not to talk about that. We try to talk about other things, if you see what I mean, like, you know.
I mean, some couples actually work together.
But I don't. In all honesty, I've done that before. I did work with my wife for a long time, and even though she was working nights and I was working days, and there was never any what's to call it, like any clashing, because obviously I was on days and she was on nights. It's like I would finish a shift and she would come on to shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I must say though, the one thing that I didn't like about it working in the same place is that people knowing your business. The fact that everyone in that establishment knows that you're together and people talk. And I couldn't give a shit what people say or what they think, of course, you know what I mean, because they don't know me or my wife or our life or what, you know, who we are, you know. But it's just the fact that people know your business to a degree, if you see what I mean. You know, they get to know your business a bit, and I don't really like that personally. But yeah,
so it's all, I think it's all down to intelligence, you know. Sort of, you know, it's good to be intelligent
but
in life.
If you're running a company, if you're husband and wife or your partner, you know, you and your girlfriend or whatever the case may be, you both got a business together and you're running a business together, then that's different. You're working as a team. You're working.
But can you imagine like doing that? You know, like working, sleeping, just being with her all the time. Do you know what I mean? It gets too much, I think. Do you know what I mean? It just snaps.
I think it depends on the relationship as well, because some people are really like best friends, where they're kind of inseparable anyway, and they just enjoy being up next to each other every minute of every day. But I think most couples need their space. Most couples, they like to be together and they enjoy their moments to be together, but they also need their alone time, their little bit of downtime, or whatever you want to call it, to kind of recharge their batteries and be able to, you know.
Well, again, it's meeting an intelligent person, isn't it? You know, like if you're intelligent with life and whatever, you know, cooking even, you know quite a lot, and then you meet another intelligent person. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, two intelligent people together who are intelligent with life and understanding happiness and whatever and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and you get on with like a house on fire. I said I didn't really get on with my wife for like 13 years I was with her. You know, she just didn't ride a bike with me or anything, you know, or
didn't want to be adventurous.
You know, or she wanted insects at all. She was scared of spiders. Do you know what I mean? And things, you know, do you know what I mean? So how could we get on, you know? And it's just meeting someone that does love insects, you know, and does understand you know, whatever, you know, do have the same hobbies as you know, whatever they are, you know, and I think like today I'm happier today than when I was married. To be honest with you, you know? So, you know, so being in love and being married and all that doesn't mean that's what happiness is.
Yeah, true.
You know, there's, like I said, I think there's different realities of happiness. You know, like, so you can be alone and want to be alone for the rest of your life and be very happy to be alone. That's that, do you know what I mean? You know, you could be happy with an hour every day. You know. You know, like some people are unhappy when they got £1 million. You know, but if you gave somebody that was pretty hungry a banana, they'd be very happy. You know, so you know.
It's all circumstance. It just depends on what's relative to the person, isn't it?
Yeah,
I guess.
you know, a millionaire has always got a chance of losing it. You know, he's got that. Where the person that ain't got that money hasn't got that chance.
Got less to lose.
Well, he's got nothing to lose. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing to lose. Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of people do bad things out there because they've got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Yeah.
You know.
Unfortunately. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Anyway, mate, before we wrap it up and call it a night for this week's episode, is there any final words or any closing statements or anything you kind of want to share or leave with the people before we wrap it up and get out of here?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Just try to be happy tomorrow.
That's it.
You know, smile. You know, and try to enjoy it. You know.
Just smile.
That's it, and then.
Never let your problems get you down.
Well, let's put it this way: if you smile and be happy today, you'll have something good to remember tomorrow.
That's it.
That's what I'm going to say.
And what I'm going to say is, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard your life may be, no matter what obstacles you face, no matter what hurdles come along the way that you've got to try and jump and overcome, keep going, keep pushing, try your utmost best to stay strong, mentally, psychologically, physically, financially, spiritually, etc. Keep going, guard your thoughts, guard your mind, try and make a plan, try to set yourself some goals, work towards them, and just try to create the life in which you want, because that's where the true happiness comes from. We create our realities based around the life that we want. If you see what I mean.
I'll just say one more thing though, like
Yeah.
having difficulties in life, you know, like I've had difficulties sometimes, you know, makes you stronger, you know, and you know, it's like having, you know, I kind of enjoy problems in a funny way, you know. I mean, nobody likes problems, of course, you know, but in the kind of way you tackle problems and learn from them and get wiser.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's it, really. You know, and I kind of like when I get any problems, I want to solve them pretty quickly, you know, in a funny way, so they're no longer a problem. You know, and a lot of people, I think they don't like problems, so they don't deal with them.
Yeah.
You know, and they build up around, do you know what I mean, you know? You know, I've done it in my past, do you know what I mean? You know, like ignore my problems, but now I want to sort of go on top of them,
Yeah.
sort of, yeah? And it's like having a baseball bat, you know, and the ball hitting you and the ball's a problem. You got to whack it as fast as you can back, you know? So it's not a problem anymore, basically.
Yeah.
So that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I can say, really. You know. Hope you enjoyed the show. You know.
That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Of course, thank you for tuning in to the Philosophy Podcast once again, guys. As we always say, please like, comment, and subscribe if you can, of course, because that really obviously helps our podcast and helps the show. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again next week with a brand new episode, of course. Just stay tuned for that. And stay happy, stay blessed. Keep pushing forward, stay focused.
Eat bananas.
Keep going. Yeah. One love.